just left the doctor's office. He's extremely pleased with where I am. The only thing is, I didn't have any idea how long it was going to be before I could see clearly. He says he checked me in another 3 months, and by then it should be pretty cleared up. But he said surgery went as good as it could possibly go, and right now I'm as far ahead as I could possibly be. So at least that's a good idea, and I think that sounds good. But it's kind of hard to wait 3 months before everything clears up.
Hey,
But
thank you, Jesus.
thank you, Jesus.
Hey guys, Mick and I are on a mystery trip right now. So we traveled from one town to another. I had the camera on and I forgot to flip the lens around. So I had beautiful scenery to show you of Flathead Lake. Yeah, all you saw was my stomach driving. So anyway, just want to tell you that we're so happy that you're watching our vlog and ask you to spread the word a little bit. That would be wonderful if you could do that. We're trying to build up our subscribership, and tell us what you want to see in the comments below. I'm hoping as the summer's here and we're doing a little more traveling, you'll get more video.
Well, Rainey says would like me to tell a story today, so I was going to tell her about, not sure she's even heard this story, but when I was about a junior in high school, I'd just got my driver's license half a year or so before. I was coming down the road from Knoxon to Troy, and just about to Troy there's a big sharp right-hand turn, and there was a little dirt road that took off just in front of it and just kind of made an L around and down and back into the highway. And it was snowing really hard, and as I came around that corner in my 58 Plymouth, I saw a friend of mine, Daryl. He was in his dad's old Ford station wagon. Oh, he was in a Ford station wagon, and he turned off on that little road, and I couldn't figure out what in the world he went down there for. I thought maybe he stopped to pee or something. And so I swung in there just to bug him, and I pulled in behind him, and all of a sudden his car took off down the little road in front of me back to the main road, and the car was kind of bouncing around funny. I really couldn't tell just why it was bouncing around, but didn't pay much attention, followed him on into town. And we hadn't really been friends very long, so he didn't know me real well. And so we got into town, we pulled up in front of his house, and he jumped out of the car and came back to where I was, and didn't seem like anybody else was in the car, but he was on the passenger side, so I knew somebody was sitting on the driver's side. And he said hey to me, this and that, and all of a sudden the car started bouncing all around again. And I figured his dad might have been driving or something, but I really didn't know what else was going on. And he said, well, he's got to go, and he jumped back in the car, and away they went. Later, when we got to know each other real well, he told me the story, and what had happened is hunting season had been over for about 3 months. In the middle of this blizzard, they shot a deer on the side of the road, and they threw it in the back of the car, or pulled down that little road and threw it in the back of the car, and here I came. And of course, needless to say, it was out of season, so they didn't know if I'd yell or scream about it or not knowing me very well. But when they jumped in the car and took off out of sight, the car bouncing around was the deer wasn't dead. It had been hit in the head and knocked out. So his grandfather was sitting in the back seat, and he grabbed a chunk of wood and he clobbered the deer over the head and knocked it back out again. When we got down to his house, it started bouncing all over the place again, and like I say, it was the middle of winter and everything was fogged up. I couldn't see in the car. And it turned out Grandpa had finally got a hold of a tire iron and beat the thing to death in the back of the car. So they took off out of town so they could gut the deer out, but it was kind of strange watching that car bounce all over the road until I found out why. So that's my story for today. Thanks.
There's a special surprise coming on Friday, which I won't tell you about right now. And yeah, we're just busy and got a lot of stuff to do. So God bless you. Thanks. Bye.